spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
All right. What is up, all you fine people out there? This is Big T with Mountain Readiness. We are on number 11 of our live streams, number 11, just cooking, moving right along. Of course, coming at you here from the mountains of Appalachia here in northwestern North Carolina. We've got some people in the house, Russ and Teresa Sawyer, Matt King, Sandra Davis, all of our usuals that always cover us up. And of course, guys, as always, please like, share, subscribe, throw a comment in there so that the algorithm gods show us some love. And in our links and in our bio, I actually have all of our affiliate ship stuff up. So if you are in the market for a Harvest Right freeze dryer, we got you covered. Redmond Salt and Redmond Salt Ag. So for all you people out there doing the Homestead thing, you can save 15% by using our affiliate link. Maybe we get a little bit, maybe we don't. I don't know how this thing works, to be completely honest, but if we can save you guys some money, and of course, everything that we have on there, guys, we use it. We don't throw anything up there as far as giving them an endorsement unless it's something that we are actually using and experiencing for ourselves. We don't want crap up there. Of course, don't forget Survival Gear BSO. Don't forget Spartan Americana for training. And speaking of this guy next over to me here, often he is referred to as a parking ticket because he's got fine written all over him. Mr. Joe Tedeye.
Oh, good Lord, dude, that is lame. What a line. What a Oh, Lord. I needed to laugh after my day.
It's been a rough day. You've been
we were together earlier,
cruising around.
Yeah. Well, we were together earlier, doing that photo shoot, and we'll get into the knife here shortly. But yeah,
heck
man.
Yeah. Carrie says, "OMG, Carrie, I don't have any. There's nothing on that. You can use that. There's no red tape. That's 100% usable. Anybody wants to use that line. And we got Mel of the Mountains up in here. That was a bad joke. There's no doubt. It was horrible. That's why I said it. Joe, are you familiar with Mel of the Mountains? Did you get to meet her at? So, guys, it's an honor to have Mel in the house with us. Mel is the connoisseur of leather arts. Actually, she made like a bikini and stuff for Alexis, Brian's girlfriend, with Survival Gear. Like amazing when it comes to leather. I think have you ever done any hide leather tanning, Joe?
I have not. Well, one time I tried it on the show. It's very difficult. Looks easy.
Yes.
It's not.
It's not easy. Really bad. Mine did too. Like my leather could stand up in the corner by itself. Like it was just
exactly the way it was.
Rigid.
It was a new boot. Yeah. Not very talented in that.
And so, and hers is like, it doesn't even feel real. Like that stuff is like as pliable as cotton, man.
Wow.
I've got to, you've got to see some of her stuff. She'll be back at the Fallout in October. Swing in there and check her out, man. She does some freaking amazing amazing stuff
yeah,
with leather. But
for sure.
guys, welcome to the party. Looks like we've got we've got Pete Robertucci, of course.
Hey, Pete.
Patrick, Mel, Matt. We got a good viewing audience here. Guys, thanks for jumping in with us and being a part of the Monday. Let us help you get rid of those Monday blues. Joe, what you got for us? You have a neighbor that like had an interesting weekend or something.
Yeah. So guys, here is, testament that you just don't know what's going to happen. So right across the street from my house, got a neighbor, has got a son. I was in my driveway yesterday, and he had pulled in, and he's like, "Hey man, can I come talk to you?" And I said, "Yeah, come on down." So you come walking down, just chit-chatting, nothing crazy. But out of the blue, he goes, "Hey man, I shot somebody yesterday." And I said, "Like, shot him with a gun?" He's like, "Yeah, 6 times." And I was, "What the hell?" So he tells me this story. Broad daylight, he had just got back from the gym, pulled into his driveway, and this white Suburban pulled in right, like literally right behind him. And didn't know the dude. Guy gets out with a shotgun, starts cursing at him, screaming at him. And my buddy literally said, "I had my pistol in my seat." First shot went through the windshield, and he actually showed me pictures. So like, I know he's not bullshit, like the whole thing, right? And so he was really smart about that, by the way. So anyway,
Yes.
First shot through the windshield, hit the guy in the stomach, got out of the vehicle, shot 9 rounds, hit him 6 times. Called the police, ambulance, right? They show up like, I think he said like 35 minutes later or something. The guy was still alive. Police got there, and he actually showed me pictures of this. Right on the center console of his Suburban was a crack pipe, drug paraphernalia, like a weed grinder, like all in this bag, just sitting there, right there. Long story short, the guy had a felony list this long, you name it, he's done it. He's like, "Dude, I don't even know why the guy was here. Didn't know him from a can of paint."
He just showed up.
Yeah. Showed up, cracked out of his head, literally. And yeah, pulled a shotgun on him. And Bob, what is so freaking crazy is you and I both know there was a scenario at Troy's Gate exactly like that.
Exact same.
Exactly.
And
And here,
rock your socks off.
dude. Yeah. And so here you go, guys. He's like, "Dude, I just drove in from the gym," and boom. 30 seconds later,
And then dude jumps out with a shotgun.
Yep.
Well, that's the great thing is why do we train? Why is it so important to train? And the reason is that right there, because it happens that quick. Dude literally rolls up, shotgun comes out. You're talking about seconds, less than seconds to react. He shoots through the windshield. Comes through the windshield to stop the threat. And then didn't you tell me the dude lived? Yeah, he lived. He shot 9 rounds at him, hit him 6 times. Lower, nothing in the upper high thoracic, all in the lower, like in the stomach area. That's the only reason why the guy survived. But just got arrested. Of course, you have to go through the whole process. Got arrested, got his gun confiscated, and of course he's okay now. That was a legitimate shooting. Guy came onto his property, brandished a shotgun, and reacted accordingly. And what I was really amazed at is when he was talking to me in my driveway, he was just very matter-of-factly about it. Yeah. He was freaked out. He was just like, "Yeah, dude, guy pulled a shotgun." I was like, "Holy shit!" I shit myself right there in my car, and I just happened to have my pistol right there. And so kind of scary, guys, because look, I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah, I got a CCW and pistols, and sometimes I leave the house without a gun. There's a time I probably would have died. That the guy was on drugs, loaded shotgun, I probably wouldn't even be talking to you right now. So anyway, just wanted to share that. Terrible. 100%. 100%. And then we can go ahead and, since we're talking about it, we'll throw that clip up of Pete's right here, of course, where he did the Troy's Gate of that scenario right there. But out of curiosity, did the gentleman that was your neighbor, did he have any prior training whatsoever?
Yeah, you're not going to believe it, dude. He's a former SF guy too.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. So
and,
no hesitation, boom, make it happen.
Yeah, and that's how I got to know him, because when we moved in here, I met his father, and I told him I was in former SF. He goes, "Oh, my son is too." So anyway, yeah, he had training, a lot of it. Spent a lot of time in Afghanistan. But the bottom line is, he reacted accordingly, and he basically engaged the guy before he could get a shot off, because he shot through his windshield. And guys, that's a tough shot. Shoot through your windshield,
yes.
Oh boy, everything's, I see it on the TV all the time. It's very difficult.
Don't breathe in.
Yeah,
don't breathe in.
Yeah, but he was,
now that's a lot of moving parts right there too. I mean, for the average guy who has not seen any combat, think about that. You pulling your drive, you look up, boom, here's a gentleman jumps out and he's got a shotgun in your face.
Yep.
Just going for your piece at that point and getting on target. I mean, that milliseconds, boom, 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 boom. So
it's going to be difficult.
But we have a pro that can show us how it's done, Mr. Pete Robertucci, and here he is at Troy. Good stuff right there. Good stuff right there. Good stuff right there, Pete.
Yeah.
You nailed it. That there, though, is literally the scenario that you just described, except for that guy was in his car, which makes it even worse.
Right.
So you're trapped in the tin can, trying to work from inside that vehicle. That in itself, I did some training a few years ago, shooting through glass, shooting through windshields, shooting around the A-pillar, how to brace off the door. That alone that's a full weekend worth of work, just learning how to shoot in and around vehicles, which, as you said before when we talked about this, was the best place to be in a vehicle is not in the vehicle when it comes to a gunfight.
Yeah, a lot of people thinks, that the best tactic would just, deploy your firearm inside the vehicle. Guys, you got to think about this. You're in a box, probably have a seatbelt on. You're trying to get your gun out. The best thing you can do is maybe get one shot off, but you need to duck and roll out of your vehicle and get out of that box. You have no movement. You're literally a sitting duck for somebody to shoot through the window. And I know some people listening to this be like, "Oh, no, you should." No, guys, where I came from, they basically taught in an ambush, get the hell out of the vehicle and get behind the wheel well or the back of the vehicle as fast as you possibly can, because you're just sitting in a box. And if somebody's actually hell-bent on getting you, you're probably going to eat a few rounds anyway, because it's going to happen like that. But sitting there and trying to get your dude, that's not no.
And I was taught of course, the sweet spot is to get behind that engine, because you got that extra steel sitting there inside that'll block you. Right. If you're at a point if they're shooting from an elevated spot, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Now you got to tuck in real close to that stuff, and that doesn't help any. We got music stuff tonight. Will says, "There you go. That's for you, Led Zeppelin."
That's it. That's the song.
That's the song. There you have it, Will. That's the song.
That's
a great
the no-brainer, man. Yeah, it is.
That is great. So I will say too that with what Pete, watching Pete at Troy's Gate right there, where you see the shotgun blast and then you see him return fire. And I like to stress too, not being in gunfights. I'm not the guy, but I will say that, it's taught. It's not who gets the first shot off. It's who makes contact with that first shot. I was watching some videos of shootings, and it was, drive-bys and everything. And it's amazing. A lot of these shootings with these people, these nutcases, they dump a full mag and they don't even get close. That's where, wouldn't you say, Joe, you need to slow that heart rate down, try to remain calm. And what does it look like?
Yeah, man. So here's actually kind of a strange story. I was in Afghanistan. We were hitting this compound, and I had gone up onto the roof. There was a hatch that led to the roof and this little makeshift wooden ladder. And as I came up onto the roof, there was a dude at the other end of the building with a PKM. And I'll never forget, he's like, and dude, the rounds, I'm not joking, went around me like this. I don't know how many rounds he shot, maybe 30, didn't hit me. And I just slowly went pop, pop, and that was the end of it. So it is, guys, it all sounds easy. This is very difficult stuff when you start adding the adrenaline and the shock factor and reactionary time and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You've got to understand that you're at such a deficit. You're just at such a deficit. You better have your A game on that day, and they better not have their A game on, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
You better have your A game, and they better be on their B game, because that's what's going to give you that second to second and a half to make a decision whether to shoot, no shoot. And Bob's 100% right. You need to hit first, and that's why accuracy is always final. Speed is secondary. Accuracy is final.
Yep, that's it. I agree. Get that, make that metal to meat. Get first on target. Yeah. And usually that's the one that wins the gunfight. So
there, he had a shooting at 32 rounds fired in one hit. Yeah. It's
as someone lived in Fort Wayne for years and years, and I actually lived in Chicago and went through Chicago doing training and stuff for years. I always liked watching the news, and of course it's always over a weekend like 4th of July weekend, Labor Day weekend, anything holiday related. You will see it will give you the stats on how many shootings that weekend, and it is mind blowing because it's like 85 shootings and 2 casualties.
Right.
So you already know how this is going down. It's just bullets flying everywhere. Nobody's hitting nothing. And if they did hit somebody, it was just by pure dumb luck.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what he said there. 100% Will. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Get that thing on target. Well, guys, we have Protecting the Homestead, of course, is live. We are finalizing the schedule as we speak. That will be up probably next week. And this schedule is going to be off the hook, stupid, awesome. I'm going to tell you, man, there's a lot of classes. You will literally have the opportunity to do every single class because we're going to be round robin these. Half of them is going to be running through CQB. Other half's going to be out there doing something else, and then they'll trade off back and forth. So you will get to do every single class. It won't be like Mountain Readiness where you got 70 and you got to pick and choose. If you choose to toughen up and run through this whole thing. It's going to be some long days, but it's going to be awesome, and you won't miss a single thing. It's going to be great. So, and Fallout is live. We started taking tickets for that. Of course, Fallout is October 18th through the 20th, and Fallout is all about primitive skills. And we'll have Mellow Mountains there. I think she's going to do a leather tanning class. We're going to put it up.
Oh, cool.
Where it'll be before or after. We'll fit her in before or after, to where it's a 3-day intensive. You can pay to actually tan an entire hide, start to finish, from raw material to the refined, lovely piece that is. It doesn't even seem like it was ever a dead animal. So with Mel, so that's going to be a class that we'll have offered as well. And Protecting the Homestead, of course, guys, is up. Check it out. And we don't want to forget. Now, I'm signed up. You still have like 1 or 2 spots left, don't you? Don't you, Joe?
I think I have
like a couple.
2. I think I have 2 left. Yep, because we only do 10 students. That's it.
And I am signed up, which I got to send you my paperwork. I forgot all about that. I still haven't signed that paperwork and returned it back to you.
Gotcha.
But guys, this is going to be off the hook, awesome class coming up there on August the 2nd through the 4th at Camp Barnhart. So you get a preview of, we only got 2 left. 2 left is what Carrie's saying. Yep. So it's going to be cool. Well, Joe was out. We were doing some filming at Gahagan Customs, of course.
Yeah,
and we did a updated, upgraded sheath right here for the ground branch knife. Show them that thing, Joe.
Yeah, man. So, of course, everything's work in progress, guys, right? And this is the beauty of doing, working with guys like Bob and Kyle, very, very knowledgeable folks. So, anyway, this knife was widened a little bit. It's got a nice little stippling right here for your thumb to hit. Let me see if I get it right there when you pull the knife out. It's got synthetic suede on the inside. It has, what's really cool about this too is, it's got the ability to put it on your belt either vertically or horizontally. And then you've got what are those clips called, Bob? The eye clips?
Ulti clips. Ulti.
Yeah. Ulti
so tech locks and Ulti clips.
Well. Yep. And what's really cool, and Bob came up with this idea, and I thought it was brilliant. The knife stays in there very well. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about the knife not coming out. But what he did is he made this tiny little retention device right there. If you can see that. Okay. And that is for somebody that's so inclined to wear it, maybe in this configuration. I never wore my knife like this, but if you're so inclined, you've got a retention device. So if you're fast roping or jumping or rappelling, whatever the case may be, it's just another little way to keep your knife from coming out of the sheath. But I love it. It's a very well designed knife. And guys, I'm going to tell you, this knife came actually from my idea of a fighting knife, came from a real world experience that I had in Afghanistan using a knife. I can tell the story real quick if y'all want to hear it. I'm not trying to brag. It wasn't something. Yeah, it wasn't something that I was like, hey, I want to check this block and use a knife. That wasn't my intention. But what happened was, long story short, we were, I'm going to back up the day prior. We were all standing out in front of our buildings. It was nighttime. We were with Gold Squadron from SEAL Team 6. We're getting ready to go out and do a hit. And one of the guys from SEAL Team 6 was like, hey, dude, why do you got a pistol on? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, take that thing off. You're never going to use it. It's just extra weight, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, these guys are experienced. They've been in country longer. So I ended up carrying my pistol on that mission. The next day, we went on another mission, and I took my pistol off. So yeah, this is pretty crazy, guys. You can't even make this up.
This is one. Yeah, this is a good one.
This just goes to show you, like Murphy. So anyway, I was on a security team. I was on the far back corner, which would have been the black green corner of this compound. And I was there with another Afghan asset and myself. And we were just pulling security on this corner, looking down both axes, the back of the compound and the one side. So the team makes entrance. No big deal. No shooting, no nothing. I get a radio call. Hey, Joe, can you come around here and help us with the SSE? Which an SSE is a sensitive site exploitation. It's basically after you hit a compound, you steal everything that's not nailed down. Computers, and you name it, it's going home with you. So you can do an intel dump. You just give it all to the intel people, and they start doing their magic. So anyway, it was wintertime. And so I start running, slow jogging down the back side of this compound. There was a trail maybe 3 feet wide on the backside, and it dropped down into like a ditch, and it was just a bunch of trees, like palm trees and stuff. So anyway, as I turn the corner, I run in to a bad guy running full tilt with an AK, and literally did like a Three Stooges, like smashed into each other. And when that happened, several things happened. One, my nod smashed me in the eyes and shocked my eyes shut. They were like getting punched in the nose. And at the same time, I had, if you've seen those slings, they're like a single point sling that's got a little fast tack that you can disconnect your gun. Well, my gun somehow, my M4, got disconnected. And on the ground it went. So I'm standing, this guy was pretty tall. I'm wrestling with this dude. He has an AK. He lets go of it, and I end up on the ground. I'm on my back. His AK goes flying. My M4 somewhere on the ground, and he jumps on me. So the first thing I do is I reach down for my pistol. Well, guess what? Didn't have it. And that would have been a really easy fix. Didn't have it. So I had a battle belt on, and I had a knife. You're going to laugh when I tell you this, but my grandfather gave me my first knife, and you guys will appreciate this. You remember the old buck knives that were like long silver with the little black ends on it? Right? They had the
super slick,
yep.
super slick black handle.
Yep. I carried it because a lot of guys carried like very sentimental things, and that was one of the things I carried, right? So anyway, somehow my battle belt shifted, and instead of my knife kind of being on my hip, I was laying on it. It was in the small of my back. So I'm laying on my back. This dude's in front on top of me. I remember I wrapped my legs around him, and I had his head like right here. And I'm trying to get my knife out, and I just couldn't get to it. So I'm trying to roll over. I finally get it out. And here's the crazy thing. Again, it was wintertime. He had a very thick wool, like the old school, like Afghani wool, like looks like a blanket, thick as shit, right? He had one of those on. So I start stabbing and slashing and really with no technique, to be quite honest with you. And I fixed that. I ended up going to 3 knife fighting courses after this. But anyway, long story short, I ended up nicking his carotid artery. And what was really crazy is a lot of people asked me, well, what were you thinking about at this time? And the crazy answer is, I kept saying to myself, don't stab yourself. Don't ask me why. I don't know, because I was doing this because I was stabbing him in the back and in the side and slashing. So anyway, long story short, I ended up nicking his carotid artery. Not even that bad, but he ended up bleeding out. And what was really screwed up is he bled all over my face and in my mouth and in my eyes. So I had to get tested for all this stuff. But anyway, the guy, ends up expiring right on top of me. And it was kind of weird because it just felt like this big balloon went. Right. So pushed this dude off of me. I police up my M4. I'm a mess. Just, it looked like I've been in a butcher shop rolling around on the floor. I run down the side of the building and I turned the corner, and one of the dudes that I worked with saw me. He's like, dude, take a knee. And he's like, medic. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. It's not my blood. Long story short, guys, that knife was so dull because I was opening up, I was cutting 550 cord with it. I was opening up, MREs and boxes of gear. And so it was so dull, not one of the slices made it to the guy's skin, not one. Because after we did our SSE, we went back to that guy and we took off all of his clothes because it was the first time somebody had actually used a knife like that at that particular time. So we wanted to see where the wounds were. And anyway, long story short, what ended up killing him were the stabs. It was a 5-inch blade, so it was definitely getting to where it needed to go, even with winter clothes on. And again, cut his carotid artery. But anyway, the only thing that saved the day for me, guys, was violence of action. I was just, there was no technique. I mean, who trains on their back knife fighting? I'm hard pressed to say I don't know anybody had. So anyway, lesson learned. So you can only imagine. We go back to Asadabad, and of course the word got back of what happened. So there's all these people in the debrief, and they go through, what we did, and they're like, "All right, Joe, tell us what happened." And I told them, if it weren't for the fact that I fell prey to peer pressure, I would have just taken out my pistol and it would just been one of these. I would just turn my head and went boom, and that would have been the end of it. But I fell to peer pressure. And so I ended up having to use a knife that was dull. It wasn't sharp. Shame on me, right? So anyway, guys, the case in point here is if you're going to buy a knife like this that's made for one thing and one thing only, don't be opening up your freaking mail. Don't take it out in the woods and do survival crap with it. Don't take it hunting and don't take it fishing. The first time you dull that blade should be on a human being, right?
That's right. Across somebody's bone.
Right. And so anyway, so after that, I went back and went to our school's NCO. And I'm like, I want to go to every freaking knife course that we have on the books. So I ended up going to 3 of them. The first 2 were complete bullshit. It was a lot of fluff. I'm like, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work either. Then I ended up training with this Israeli guy, and I really liked his message. It was very simple. And one of the things that he talked about, and a lot of people are gonna watch this and go, oh boy, is that he did not hold his knife like that. You'll see a lot of Filipino knife fighting and all these, they'll have their thumb on the back here of the spine of the knife. Guys, I'm here to tell you, if you go to slice somebody and you hit collarbone, skull, arm, anything down to the bone, and your hands are wet or bloody, there is a 50-50 chance that knife is going to do this. Now you really got a world of freaking problem, or it's going to come out of your hand. So I really love the idea that he said, wrap your thumb around the knife, and that will keep your knife from coming out of your hand if you do hit bone, and you probably will. If you're swinging for the fence, really trying to tune somebody up, you're going to hit bone. Whether it's, like I said, the collarbone, that's like an 80% chance you're going to hit somebody's collarbone. Bing! And we did it with a piece of wood. He actually took a piece of a 2x4, wrapped the carpet around. He's like, all right, guys, swing for the fence and hold the knife like this. 50% of the time, it came out of your hand.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, you got a whole lot more real estate with that thumb wrapped around there, and that was the whole purpose of the double tang. It may not look.
Yep.
Look here, guys. If you notice on that blade, you have a double tang for the purpose of not being able to slip your hand over the top of that blade if you're slamming into bone and all that kind of stuff. That protects your hand. Now, you'll see a lot of people that will leave that tang off the top, keep it all flat with a nice, pretty profile. That's fine for looks, but we're about how does it operate.
Yeah, this is a totally functional knife. And like I said, one of the reasons why we made this blade 5 inches is because if somebody's wearing a leather jacket, winter clothing, that's going to eat up an inch of the knife. And guys, you've got to have 4 inches is what I've been told to get to puncture your heart, to puncture your lungs. Yeah. right? Exactly. But so you're going to eat up an inch of this knife in winter clothing if you're so inclined that if you get in that situation. So that's why we didn't just make it a 4.5 or 3.5 inch blade. It's a little larger than a normal EDC knife, but this knife again is for people that you want to have it on your kit, whether you're law enforcement, SWAT, military, special operations. And the other thing too is that we also use the material, Bob, and I'm going to screw it up, Sure Grip.
It's a Sure Touch. It's called a Sure Touch. Yeah, G10. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a combination of G10 and rubber. And when you sand this thing and start dimpling it, you can actually start feeling that texture, that rubber texture. So that grip, guys, I'm telling you right now, the grip on a knife is more important than the damn blade. And people are like, what? Yes. If you've got the right grip and it feels good in your hands, it's not coming out. And, the blade's the blade. This is a very simple Spartan blade. It's pointy and sharp. And that's what it was all about. We do have some different models coming out, but this is a pure fighting knife. Nothing more.
It's a fighting knife.
Yep.
And, like Joe said, when it comes to this blade, when it comes to a good EDC extreme use made for one purpose and one purpose only, your grip and your sheath are more important than the blade. And if you can't keep a hold of your knife, look, there's a company out there, and I love their knives. I'm not gonna say who it is. He's an ex-SEAL, and his knives are beautiful. They're also ridiculously expensive, but they have turquoise and all kinds of different woods blended together. But almost all of their handles are super polished and super smooth to get that lovely look. Guys, when you get just sweat on your hand, much less blood, that thing's coming out. It's coming out. And so that G10 Sure Touch, man, it's sticky.
It's legit, guys.
It's sticky.
Yeah, you can Google it. You can Google it and read about it. It's legit. It really feels good when you put this knife in your hand. It's just like, wow, it's made for one thing. So, but I remember somebody just said, Bob, about teaching a class on knife defense. That's something if we have time, and again, Bob's doing the scheduling. I could go over some very basic fundamentals of knife fighting. And
don't you go into some of that at your Wetsy as well?
Oh yeah. I bring my whole knife collection and I show you all the different knives and why you shouldn't use this one and why you should use this one and why this one's good and why that one's bad. Because remember, guys, this ain't a survival knife. You're gonna break the tip the minute you start prying and doing shit. Look at the tip on that. It's for puncturing. It's for puncturing through your rib cage and stuff, right? You start prying with that, and you're gonna break the tip off. Like any knife. And this is good steel. What is this? 80
CRB2.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's a high carbon steel with a lot of rust inhibitors. So it holds an edge great.
Yep.
And it's a high carbon steel, but it doesn't rust up real bad. So easy to clean, easy maintenance on that steel, and it's a great high carbon steel.
Here, I'll give everybody just a quick no-brainer when I teach knife fighting. That a lot of people will go, oh my God, didn't know that. So most people just put a knife in their hand, right? Kind of looks like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, guys, what you want is you want the blade and your knuckles to be in line. And the way you do that is you stick the knife in that first where your fingers meet your hand, right? Y'all see that?
Yeah.
See how I did that? Look, wrap your fingers around it. Now, look at where my knuckles and it's in a line. So when you slash, right? When you slash, that blade isn't canted, and it'll be canted if you put it here. You don't want it canted. You're not going to get, you're going to cut the guy, but you're not going to get down to the bone. You want that blade exactly parallel with your knuckles, and that's how you grab it at the point, and then you wrap that thumb. So there's the grip right there. Not that. Wrap that thumb, right? So anyway, there's one little thing. You just put it, wrap it. Now you're, and a lot of people here, guys, here's the big thing. Well, I put my thumb here so I can get that really good wrist action, because that's what actually it's slicing. When you slice and you hit, you're folding your wrist over. Guys, this right here don't mean jack. It is a wrist action. It's your wrist. It's not your thumb. It's your wrist. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I had the unfortunate opportunity to use a knife and train with several different people. And the last guy I trained with, I was like, that works. It's simple, easy to do. And again, I can talk for an hour or two on this. We don't have the time, but does it have a hole in the base? Yeah, it does.
And Will, as well as I do, Will, you're talking to the pros here. Of course it has a hole for a lanyard to go through. Of course you can put paracord through that thing. And it also has jimping on the back end there. We jimped that, of course, the backside for downward thrust, put a heavy jimp and protruded it above the scales there. So most definitely it has one of those. Yeah. I seen something here from Sandra, and she said about how do you find knife training? Well, Sandra, as far as where you're at, who knows? There is a lot of people out there. We're even going to show some gear today that is just sad. I was just showing something to Joe earlier before we went live. He was showing me some stuff that was sent to him. Guys, there is so much crap out there, and the same thing goes for training. There is tons of places out there that'll take your money and you will leave. Yes. So number one, when it comes to knife fighting, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you can run faster than they can, run. Because this guy here, he said, you get into a knife fight, Sean Robertson said, he said, you get into a knife fight, you're probably going to get cut. That's true. I've been stabbed. It hurts like hell. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get cut even if you win. So if you can get out of there, man, beat shoe leather. I'm not even joking. It's better than getting stabbed, because playing with knives, you're going to get cut. The guy I trained with, if you go on YouTube, type in this name, Hagana, and I think it's Hagana, and he's got an entire tutorial, and it's really, really good. This guy is a real practitioner. You can tell he's used the knife on more than a few people. Right. Your thumb bone is what it's talking about. Yeah, for sure. And so it's called Hagana. And I think if you just watch, he has like 6 tutorials, and they're actually kind of long, very, very well put together. And I got to train with this dude, and he's an excellent instructor. He's a practitioner. He's not a hobbyist. And you can just tell when he's talking and training, the guy is just so smooth. But I would caution anybody, if it's fluff, don't even go there. You're not sparring. You're not sparring. Just like when I was training with this guy, it's like, once you start, you don't stop, because that person's in constant defensive mode. They're putting their hands up, and you're cutting and you're slashing. And if you stop, now they can cycle back through their OODA loop and go, oh shit, oh, you just cut me. Right. So, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. And the way he described 1,000 cuts, keep slicing.
Yeah. The way he described the slashes manage a fight, right? Stabs end a fight, right? So you're managing the fight, and then bam, they leave you in an open spot, and poof, you get a free kill shot. So so it's called Hagana, guys, and you can Google it. And I'm telling you, his tutorials are really, really good. But again, find somebody who's a practitioner. Don't go train with some idiot that is just doing katas with a knife, and they look like, spinning knives around in their hands, all that bullshit. Don't even think about it.
Nobody spins a knife in a real fight.
No. Unless you're an idiot, you'll get killed.
If you want to get killed or you drop your knife, But here's a true story about the thumb thing. This is a true story. So I had a guy who he's an SF guy. He did a lot of training for the SWAT team stuff there in Indiana. And he said he got jumped by a big old boy years ago, and he had a little pistol in his pocket, and he couldn't get the guy off of him. It was a big old hoss. You know, this dude's like 350, 400 pounds. This guy, 100, $180 at most. And he said he pulled his pistol out, and he put his thumb on the back of the slide so that when he tucked that thing up in old boy's belly, it pushed not just the projectile, but all the gases, because the slide doesn't ratchet back.
Yeah.
And we were showing, we were out on the range, and he was showing how this thing worked. And I just took a little 380, little pocket pistol I carry around with me sometimes, and held the slide forward on that. And of course, all those gases, that target, you get a hole this big. It's pushing that stuff out. So if you want to jam that into somebody, pull a trigger. But here's the crazy part about that thumb. The same thing you said about coming down with a knife is he told everyone, he said, do not leave any slack between your thumb and that slide. He said, if you leave a little bitty gap, he said that slide will come back and snap your thumb off. Sure enough, they had a gap there, and when that slide come back, it broke the guy's thumb. Just slapped that thing backwards. He was hooking a ride in the opposite direction. So if it'd do that from a slide on a 9mm of all things, then what do you think it's going to do coming down and hitting a collarbone with your thumb on the backside of that? I mean, it's going to snap your thumb off if it doesn't slide off.
Yeah. Guys, just remember when it comes to any kind of training, any firearms, knife, whatever, keep it simple, right? The more simple you can keep your technique, the less chance that it's going to break down under extreme duress and stress. The more complicated things get, it's harder for your mind to process all of that stuff, right? So keep it, and that's what I loved about Hagenah. It was so simple. He just had a few movements, and what I really, really liked about him is that every slash ended with a stab, right? So it's slash stab, right? Slash stab. And so, because the knife is right there, so why not? Again, I'm not partners with this guy, but I can't speak more highly about the guy because he was ultra professional. And if you watch his videos, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that is, who's this? Not like Angery American knife class. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Now, who's that?
I know what she's referring to. Shame on you, Christy. Shame on you. Being in a relationship. That's a tactical rifleman, Emery from the IDF. He is IDF guy. He's actually not stateside right now, but he is an awesome blade man of the blade. He's done some classes. I need to get a class with him on that as well. Those IDF guys, they like their knives. So
yes, they do.
Actually reminds me, I need to show you a knife. Well, Emery designed a karambit, and then one of his guys from his team over there with IDF, his name's Near. I've got a Tanto. I've got a Tanto that Near produced. I got to show you. Remind me next time, Joe, because this thing is nasty. I mean, it is sick, nasty, sharp. That is one disgusting blade.
So let me say one more thing. Let me just say one more thing about this, and we'll move on. Because we're running out of time, guys. You ever watch a TV show and somebody gets stabbed and they fall over?
Never.
I was wearing this dude's ass out with a big ass hunting knife, and he was still fighting me. If you ask me how long it lasted, I mean, I was under a huge adrenaline dump. I guess, again, time displacement. But if I were to guess from the time I bumped into him to the time I pushed him off of me, I would say 3 to 4 minutes. And I had nicked, and he was fighting the whole time. I mean, I started feeling him kind of go limp, but he was still, and I was wearing his ass out with that thing all the way to the hilt, and he was still fighting. So don't think you're going to stab somebody, even if it's through the heart. They're still going to have some fight in them. It ain't like TV unless you get something like straight through the ear or straight through the eye socket or through the magniform. Those are instant kills. Instant.
Yes.
Stabs to the body. Oh, you're going to get on. You better be in it to win it.
Well,
and don't stop.
And just like your neighbor Joe with the shotgun guy all hopped up. When I was cage fighting, no bullshit. There was a guy that jumped in the ring when I was fighting up the kamikaze. That was jacked up on speed, like he was hopped up. I'm gonna tell you right now, I beat this dude, and he was a skinny little dude too. I beat this dude like he owed me money, and he would just pop up. I could not get him to stay down. I beat him with everything I had. And of course, my wife being LEO, all of you police out there, you know, when you start messing with these junkies, man, they're super strength. That stuff, they got them hopped up.
They don't feel pain.
They're not feeling a thing.
No.
So here's the setup, guys, for the last 9 minutes we have. We're going to go over some gear. I'm going to throw something up here. Be leery and beware of the stuff that is on this internet. It is insane. It will get you killed. The same thing as bad training. You know, I train with people who have careers in this. I train with Joe. I train with tactical riflemen. I train with prime combat. I train with black armored guns. These guys have years of experience in the field in their specialty of the field. So, but these, you know, there's so many people out here because of the cool guy Instagram crap that throws out. So here's the setup of this. I was scrolling through social media and I found this. And what it was, this picture is a depiction of what you can do to have breathable oxygen, is how it was put, in case you were caught in a house fire. Okay. So I want to show this to you guys. So you take the time. Okay. I can't get out of my house. And so I run a hose down my toilet past the water. And then I'm breathing freaking sewer shit gas. Right. So guys, that's methane gas. The water in the bottom of your toilet is a trap. All right. The water in the bottom of your toilet keeps methane gas from coming up into your freaking house. So this is what's out there, though, guys. It may look like it's a good idea, except for you still fucking die. All right. This kills you by breathing methane gas. Sorry.
And the fire's eating your ass up. What are you going to just stay in there and let the fire get you? I mean, how stupid.
If you're gonna, where did you get the hose? Where'd you get the damn hose? Did you like have a hose that you? Now, I think they were saying the shower.
Oh, I always have a hose in the bathroom. Oh, yeah.
Now,
of course.
But look, guys, this is the stuff we want to stay clear of. It's horrible. This is the stuff that just, and you had some stuff sent to you. Do you want to show any of that stuff?
Yeah, and guys, I know you've all seen this stuff right here, and, you know, it's real tactical, right? Tactical, right? You ever seen this shit crap?
Yeah.
Right? You just, all this crap. Guys, let me ask you a serious question. You gonna trust your life to this?
No.
I mean, seriously. What are you gonna do with this arrowhead?
Where's the arrows and the bow?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, it's got this little saw that I don't even think you could saw through a toothpick with it. But guys, this is the stuff that people were selling out there. Okay, I can't remember what this was. They sent it to me. I think they sold it online for $25 or $30. Probably cost them a damn $1 to make in China. But guys, if you own stuff like this, shame on you. You know, don't even think about this to save your ass. Don't even think about it.
It's horrible.
Garbage.
Now, I appreciate you, Sean. Thanks for stopping in. No, the bushcrafting world, nothing against the bushcrafting world, because there's a lot of, I love primitive skills. I love learning them. The 4 seasons that you were on Dual Survival, I mean, you did a lot of primitive skill stuff. But guys, these little knick-knack bullshit that he's showing, it's just extra crap to carry around. And it looks cool. Traps. That's it.
I call them mouse traps. It's just a new mouse trap. And ooh, that looks really neat. And no, people don't know what they don't know. This is not going to save you. It's just not. You might as well get that little saw blade out and cut your own damn throat if you think you're going to use that.
If you can, if you can actually do that.
Yeah, if you can actually do
I don't think so.
Yeah, but anyway, and I don't want to say the name of the company, but it's no good.
There's quite a few companies that actually might manufacture that stuff. And I will say, like, and I don't even understand the concept. Like, I get the fish hook side of it. All right, okay, you got some little fish hooks, but the arrow and then a little knife, like that thing is what, a 16th inch thick.
It's gonna break.
You're gonna take the knife out, and then you're gonna whittle yourself a bow and arrow to put the arrow tips in. I don't understand how that even works at that.
Look at that. Look how thin it is. It's like it's a 16th of an inch thick. It's just anyway.
There's nothing. Fish hooks. I could use the fish hooks if I was on Vancouver Island on a loan and I needed to catch a fish. That's about it. Right. I mean, that's pretty much so it at that point.
But a lot of people have these in their bug out bags, guys. And like, if you have a bug out bag, that's a 72-hour bag. You don't have time to fish. You don't have time to fish. No. You need to be on your horse
and get to point A to point B.
That's it, man. You're hauling ass. That's it. That ain't gonna save you. Just wait. Yeah.
So we got like 4 minutes, guys. I'm going to throw this picture up here because I thought it was really good. Yes, I know everybody's talked about this. We're going to throw a couple minutes. I was talking to TJ just a little bit. He put a post out there and he said, hey, guys, take the opportunity to train. If you guys, I'm sure most of you guys watch these debates. This country is in a sad state, brother. I don't care who wins. I don't care which party gets it. Look for ridiculousness after this election. There's no other way it can go. So I want to use that opportunity to plug and say, I don't care who you train with, guys, but get out there and train and do something, because we are getting that point to where I don't know how many more freedoms we will have to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I watched that debate, and I'll be honest. And again, I don't need to get into politics, with powers to be, all this bullshit. But guys, if you could watch, this is my personal opinion, and guess what? I'm entitled to it, just like you are. If you could watch that debate and honestly say to yourself, I am going to vote for Biden over Trump, I really have to ask you why. And the answer is, and just like the rest of these people, is they hate Trump so much, they would rather put our country at risk with a man. And I'm not trying to make fun of President Biden. I'll be there someday too. Of course, I'm going down that road right now. But he has some issues. Yeah, this man has the codes to our nuclear, program. That's not good. Okay, the guy can't finish sentences. I mean, if you watched it, it was very difficult to watch, guys. But when people are so scared and hate somebody so bad that you would pick that person, just don't fucking vote. Excuse my language. Just don't vote. Don't. Stay out of it. You're putting everybody at risk by voting for someone like that. Everybody. Shame on you. Shame on you.
100%.
Need your head freaking examined.
It's sad. The whole thing was sad. Like watching that guy. I mean, he's pooping his pants and he's, mid-sentence. It was like watching Boomhauer off of King of the Hill. Just like rambling on and then just dead stop for 5 minutes. Just, Trump didn't even know what to say half of that stuff. I don't blame him. It was horrible. It was sad.
Yeah.
But, guys, take the opportunity while you can. There's a lot of stuff getting passed under the rug in these laws. I know I can't remember the law. It was the first of this year they were trying to push through where you couldn't do training events, with firearms and preparedness and stuff like that. It didn't go anywhere, but sooner or later it will. Sooner or later it will.
Of course.
And And it will be, oh yeah, you can't assemble and train, civilians to use firearms. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. So,
it will.
Who knows how long? Who knows how long?
Get it while you can. Get it while you can.
That's it. Well, lead us out of here, Joe. You got anything else you want to throw onto this before we wrap it up?
Oh, man, I guess just what I talked about at the beginning about my neighbor's son. Guys, how fast it can happen. And those people are prepared and understand the OODA loop and the color code of awareness and reactionary gap and proprioception and all of these mental aspects. Look, guys, using a knife and a gun, I can teach a monkey how to do that. What's really important is understanding what your mind is going to be doing when that happens. Thank God, again, he's a SF dude. He had plenty of training. He deployed, but that for another person could have turned out really, really bad. Really bad. So, just educate yourself. Be 1% better every day. That's something I'm coaching a young man right now. And I tell him, be 1% better every day. Just 1%, not 50, not 30, not 20, not 10, 1%. Read something. And at the end of the year, that 1% ain't 1% no more. It's huge, huge. Anyway.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you, man. That's a great way to roll it out, guys. I've adopted a saying I've been using for the past month for Mountain Readiness. I just kind of stumbled on it, and it goes right along with what Joe said, and it's move with purpose. All right, move with purpose. Everything you do, if you put your boots on, move with purpose. Have a purpose for everything that you're doing. Don't waste movement. Don't waste time. 1% a day, and we'll wrap it up with that, guys. 1%. Great show. Thank you for everybody for being a part of this. Of course, we couldn't do it without you. Until next Monday, move with purpose. 1%, guys. We'll see you then.